Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. We're going to do the 801 at 801 today, and I know I promised that we were going to do this with Armstrong Powerhouse models, but unfortunately it's not going to work out the way that I planned. I went to edit all of the 365s, all the 801s, and I even put the 43 by Armstrong in there, which is still going to appear, by the way, because it replaces the one that's actually in there because of the AP files. So it actually does replace the ones in the AP file. So we are going to see the 43 replaced just by chance. So when I did all the changes, every single train was changed out. I was editing a clone, so it should have all worked fine. All of a sudden I got tracks.bin error, which didn't make sense because I was not playing on the official career scenario. I was playing on a clone at the time. I cloned that. I still got tracks.bin error. I went back to look at the original scenario, and I found out that the train was actually moving at the start. We're going to have a train that's moving at the start of this one, guys. And I also noticed when I originally loaded the one that I cloned and worked on, the train wasn't moving anymore. It was stationary. You had to set it up. So I figured out that's how you break the scenario, and not knowing how to set trains on the move yet other than putting a faux speed in on the scenario.bin file, and having to deal with tracks.bin errors anyway, I decided I'm just going to leave this one alone. Let's play the original one. We're going to have lots of chances to enjoy the 801 in the Armstrong Powerhouse form in the future, especially on a scenario where the train does not start on the move, which is ideal. So let's go ahead and put off looking at the Armstrong Powerhouse 801. We'll do that when I actually do the set of scenarios that starts from Liverpool and goes up to Newcastle or York, whichever way it goes. So we'll look at that one at that time. For right now, we're going to look at the default scenario, final default scenario for the Class 801 on the East Coast Main Line South. We are going to see, like I said, though, the Class 43, I believe, will be replaced. But other than that, it's going to be all the same. The 365s, the original ones as well. So we might get a chance to hear the updated 43 at some point as well. Let's get started. And this is the reason why I couldn't use the edited version, guys. I wasn't sure how to make this train stay moving while swapping the stock for it, so I just went back to this. Anyway, currently passing the Potters Bar area, you will be shortly making a stop at Stevenage before running non-stop to Peterborough. Although your service has not been directly delayed so far, it is entirely possible that you may run into problems as you proceed further north. Alrighty, everything's already on, headlights are on, a wiper is sticking up in our face. So everything's ready to go. Let's just go ahead and start this drive. And we are only at 80 miles per hour. I'm surprised they didn't have us closer to the speed limit because we did go through a 100 before getting to this 115. So we should have been a little bit higher in speed, at least to 100. But I don't know, maybe the scenarios can't start that fast. I don't know. In any case, we'll go ahead and we'll get this up to at least 100 without complaining here. Except that I am complaining. We won't talk about that. There's not as many trains in this scenario, I should say, not plural. So we're probably going to see an 801 coming shortly, and I assume this is the Newcastle to London King's Cross service from 4:45 in the morning. That was the wrong button. So I couldn't show you that. There we go. That was the wrong button. So we're now going through Brookman's Park, since we were told we were going through the Potters Bar area, so that must have been Brookman's Park. You might assume that was Potters Bar because of the introduction text, but look at the mileage and that will give you an idea, if you're familiar at all with the route, how far away Welwyn Garden City is, which is our waypoint, and that tells you that is Brookman's Park. The next station, therefore, is Welham Green. I expect we'll be seeing a service passing by soon. I believe the Royston to London King's Cross service. I'm not playing full speed limits here like I should. Because playing full speed limit will let us see the entire story rather than missing bits and pieces as we go. Remember on Edinburgh, Glasgow, I think it was a Class 66 scenario, we were told to stop at a spot where a train had already passed, therefore there was no reason for us to stop except that we had a task to stop, and if it was a go via, we wouldn't have had a problem making our timetable. But what can you do? There's that Royston service I mentioned. This is Welham Green. This is also Welham Green. Welham Garden City is the next station. Now there are 4 lines going into Welham Garden City, but after that the lines narrow to 2 for Welham North before splitting back up again to 4 lanes. This is to cross a viaduct that is along the path. In fact, we'll see. I'll see in a second now that I can put a 40% brake application on. So what's going to happen is we're going to cross the Digswell Viaduct before we actually come to Welwyn North, and that is what is going to be happening. We're going to have a 2-lane viaduct that we have to cross. So another service going by. I didn't bring up the information in time, but I think you might be able to pause and see it on YouTube if you want. So that was a double yellow. We are expecting a single yellow here. It is a single yellow. The next aspect is currently a red signal. So someone is in the station at Welwyn Garden City. I should take that back. No, I take that back. Another train has left and is occupying the path in front of us at Welwyn Garden City. The signal is actually at the end of the platform right now. The red signal is at the end of the platform. So a little correction to what I said there was definitely necessary. Let's scan ahead. We can see if we scan ahead, absolutely nothing. Going to take the brakes off for a second. And we can see that we do have a yellow signal up ahead. So with that yellow, we are going to proceed. If you want to anger railway workers, call it an amber. That will get them angry. To railway workers, there is no amber. That is a shade of orange. And then I understand why some would call yellow a shade of orange. It's a lighter version. No, it actually is a different color. I know how colors work. To some extent. So when we get to a quarter of a mile out, I'll scan ahead and I'll check the signal on this one as well. We're going to have to do this for a few signals, I believe. At least as long as we're following this train we're apparently following. So let's scan ahead. We have a yellow aspect, so proceeding once again. Leaving our speed as it is. There's no reason to change that. So it looks like the train we're following was on our path. It looks like it must have been an express train to Welwyn Garden City, and now it's probably going to move to a slow lane to let us pass. Just my guess. Peterborough, London King's Cross, 706 service going by right there. So there's a merge lane, and the other one ends because that's a siding for trains that start at Welwyn Garden North at the start of the day, apparently. Just a guess. That's probably where they park a train overnight. And then it moves the following morning. Meanwhile, it's a much longer track coming in from the viaducts to split off after crossing the viaduct in the other directions. So, put time-based feedback on. We're going to scan ahead and check the signal in a moment. We have a nice little viaduct here as well that I'll zoom out and show you very quickly. There you go. Scanning ahead now, we see a yellow aspect. I'm just going to make sure it stays yellow. And I'm not seeing things. Indeed, it is staying yellow, and I'm not seeing things. I saw a drop of rain there for a second. That confused me. But we do have a yellow, so we are going to proceed. It's going to turn red as we pass it. There you go. As we're still under a yellow, we can't increase speed yet, but I do suspect that we're going to have this train out of our way in a moment. So this is Welwyn North. Some passengers walking along there who didn't catch that last train. I fully expect a service probably going to Peterborough, because there are a couple Peterborough services on our timetable, on the daily timetable. So I do expect to pass one of them in a moment. Scanning ahead again, our signal is yellow. It may turn green as we pass because the slow line does return, and we are getting a green now. So up to line speed we go. That is a green. The next station will be Nebworth. I didn't get that in time for you on that train, but the next station will be Nebworth. The tunnels, by the way, we went through the Welwyn South and now the Welwyn North tunnel. The Welwyn North naturally is the longer of the two. Of course, on the previous scenario, I kind of tried to go through all of the different names of everything as we went. I'm not going to do that so much on this scenario, because I already did that in the previous scenario, but we're going to just go ahead and enjoy the drive here. We have a 125 that we're now in, so you do want to get up to speed and try to make up some time for Stevenage very nicely here. Don't know what that is. Probably a DSD or something. So someone turned on the DSD on us on this train. There you go. Don't touch the controls for a minute. You have to respond. There's another train coming from Leeds. And I momentarily expect to see Nebworth. You can see two more trains going by. There is a Peterborough train. That was the one that was slowing us down. So there you go. So we're coming up on Stevenage now. We need to get ready to come to a stop. I do expect we're going to see the 652 King's Lynn to London King's Cross at some point as we go along. That is indeed a driver safety device. I know that now. We might see a Cambridge train coming along, or the Cambridge one might have just passed us earlier. So those are a couple trains I'm expecting to possibly see here. I might have hit the brakes a little bit late here, so we're going to find out. I have, however, put on 90% brake application. I'm giving myself the best chance to slow down in time. I think I might make it down. I should be okay. I should be alright here. I'm going to ease off the brakes just a little bit because I think I'm coming in too slow now. Yeah, I'm coming in too slowly. Let's ease the brakes off. Easing it down gently now. Okay, I can come to a stop as soon as I'm fully in the platform. I'm going to cruise along right now at a low brake application. That should help us get in cleanly. Welcome to Stevenage. Now I need a heavier brake so I can bring it to a stop. I'm going to ease it off again. Let's get the entire train in now, and then we'll bring it to a full stop. I I succeeded in bringing the whole train in, so we're going to open the doors, and that is arrival at Stevenage, platform number 3. Leaving Stevenage, our next stop is Peterborough. And being the end of the route for us, minus a couple miles beyond it, we are going to be treating that as our final stop for this journey. So our train will continue without us, I believe, to Newcastle, I think it said. We are going to go via the St. Neots down fast area, so we are going to go through St. Neots on a specific track here. We are getting destination points for making that on time, so we're going to try to make that on time. Right now we're 3 minutes early, which suggests to me there's probably going to be another slowdown up ahead of some sort. We're only expected to be there at 8:32. We shall see. Because I want to show you the whole story, I will try to still go at speed limits and see how early we can make it. If we are not expecting any slowdowns, maybe it's a relaxed timetable. I don't know. We will find out. So I believe the next station on our journey is going to be Hitchin. There's not a lot of stations left. We're about to get to the countryside area of the route as we make our way towards the York area. There's our driver safety device going off again. Because our train started on the move, that was already on for us, so I didn't have a chance to isolate that or not. It's automatically on. I could set it to isolate, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it on. There's our Peterborough service, the same one we passed earlier. It made a stop and left way ahead of us at Stevenage, so we're passing it again. You know, you're too slow, dude. You're too slow. I don't care that's the speed limit there. You're too slow. There's another 801 coming by. Based on my list of trains, I'm going to assume that's probably the Newcastle to London King's Cross service from 5:25. That's my presumption. So there's 2 of those in the scenario so far. The other one was at 4:45. On the list, there's also a Leeds to London King's Cross 801 coming from Sandy. So we're going to see that one, I think, near Sandy. Another Newcastle one, 5:56 coming from Huntingdon. And we're going to see yet another one as we approach Peterborough. So there's a lot of services from Newcastle in these 801s. They're running a lot of Newcastle services on this route at this time of morning. So there you go. That was Hitchin that we just passed through, by the way. I was looking away as we went through, so I didn't call it in time. So that means that as of passing through Hitchin, we were about 6 miles away from Arlesey, which is the next station we're going to see. After Arlesey is when the level crossings start to show up. And since I don't like the horn in this model, I'm not going to bother with the whistle. I don't like the horn. I'll do it once just to remind you how bad it is. Now, I think there actually is a level crossing before Arlesey, but I think that crossing might have been changed into a bridge or something or other, maybe an underpass or an overpass, since the time this route was developed, because I think that level crossing is not on my listings. and therefore probably no longer exists in real life. You notice I dropped a little speed there. I'm bringing my speed back up too close to the speed limit now. I know along the journey we are going to get dropped to a 100 at some point, so that is fully expected. But for right now, we can stay over it. We can go up to 125. We are going to go up to 125. There's no reason not to. Until I see a reason not to, I'm just going to keep right on doing it. Crossing back into 117. Driver safety device coming to life again. That thing's annoying. I know it says safety thing, but that is annoying. It will never stay not annoying. I'm going to settle for 121. I'm going to just move the throttle a little bit here and there since we have to push buttons anyway. I'll also move the throttle so it knows I'm not dead. This is Arlsley. Continued green signals. There's another of those 801s. That might be the lead service I mentioned. This bridge coming up is probably Cambridge Road in Langford. That's my best guess here. There's our first level crossing. That might have been the Jigs Lane crossing. I'm supposed to see a number of them in very short order here. That may have been the East Road crossing. Not the best place for a signal. It kind of merges with the track. There's another whistle board. So we're coming up on the Langford Road and the Holme Green crossings. We're also going to pass somehow the Primrose and Smarts crossings. I don't think they're all modeled here. I've only seen 3 so far. The overline bridge that you see ahead comes after all the level crossings. That is Biggleswade Bypass. And that would be the signal that we're coming into Biggleswade in a moment. There it is. The next station will be Sandy. That crossing you just saw was the Lindhalls crossing. Or Lindsells crossing, sorry. Lindsells crossing is exactly 2 miles away from Sandy Station. That platform is coming up ahead here. This would be Sandy. Now our waypoint of St. Neots is now 7 miles away. And the fact that that's a waypoint suggests to me that that's where something's going to be happening up ahead. So we might be getting another red signal up ahead. We are still 3 minutes early. There's another train going by. That looks like another service to, to Peterborough. That's a 6:35 to Peterborough. Obviously on the move because it's taken us quite a while to pass it. The next 801 coming up will be from coming from Newcastle as well. That'll be another service to King's Cross, one of the many that I mentioned exist on this scenario. Just from Newcastle alone in the 801s, 5 of them. I didn't have the information up on that crossing as I was going by it. That might have been the Everton crossing. The Tempsford crossing is next. Or I missed the Tempsford crossing, I'm not sure. We'll also be going over the Love Lane crossing. In fact, this is the Love Lane crossing. So we should be going under the Browns Road Bridge in a moment. We're going to be approaching St. Neots in about 2.5 miles from that point. We could have a signal here. We do, it's a green signal. I'm just going to go ahead and coast it this time because I am very early for my waypoint. And I honestly think something's going to happen here. That's not what I expected to happen. That thing goes off, by the way, even if you're stopped at a station. Unless you put the reverser in neutral, it will not shut up. It'll always beep after a minute to let you know, hey, you left me on. Yeah, I know. No, we're going to get to cross St. Neots crossing without issue. So we could have a signal at St. Neots possibly adverse. We will find out. What I do know is that based on our timetable, and we already explored this, we have to be at Peterborough at 8:44. That was 8:43, and I don't know who that was. So we have about 11 minutes scheduled from that waypoint. We might have a little bit longer. Gonna keep the speed at 110 for now. We have to maintain some challenge here, right? So another level crossing coming up. This will be the Furbanks #1 crossing. Or at least it's in the cluster crossings here. We also have the Gillis and Offord crossings. There's our timeliness bonus. There's our green signal. Now, as long as we're ahead of schedule, actually now we are going to be late. Why are we going to be late? There must be a train in the station at Peterborough. Because we're currently slated to be late. Let's get up to the speed limit, guys. This is most likely... No, that's not Huntington. I'm way too early for Huntington. No, I called the wrong level crossings, guys. I called out the wrong level crossing. Or did I? No, that was Huntington. I think it was. That couldn't have been Sandy, was it? We have a 120 coming up. Thankfully, we are currently going 120. No, that was Sandy. Huntington is the next station. Okay, I was right. It was Sandy. So now all those crossings I mentioned, we're going through them now. Whoops. Why is Sandy not on my list of information? I don't understand why. Oh, Sandy was further back. No, that was St. Neots. Never mind. That was St. Neots. I will get it right. I will get it right one day. I'll remember this one day. I still forget things on London to Brighton. I'm not from the UK. Forgive me. So that was St. Neots at the previous station about 2 or 3 miles ago now. We're going to be seeing Huntington next. But they are spaced out a lot more now. So Huntington is some ways away. Now we're going through probably the Gillis Crossing. And the Offord Crossing coming up as well. We have a 125 returning to us. Now we do know we're going to drop to a 105 or a 100 after this somewhere. So we'll keep that in mind. But right now we do have to make sure we keep going the speed limit because we are gaining time. So we have to go the speed limit. And we will do so. I might relax a little too much going through Sandy because we had a very lax timetable. But the nice thing is, as long as we maintain close to the speed limit, we should still gain time. So going the speed limit is just chancing, is just pressing your luck a little bit. And once in a while, you get a whammy. I shall not do that again. That also hurts my voice, I found out. Okay. So yeah, based on the fact our ETA showed us late for a moment, I don't think there's really any more slowdowns. As long as we don't speed, which we shouldn't be anyway. We need to get it closer to 125, though, now that we're in the 125 area. If those who might be asking about the Press Your Luck reference, yes, I do like game shows. What's your problem with that? Honestly, it's one of the reasons I would love seeing UK daytime television, because Price is Right's actually boring now for me in America, in Canada, where we get it as well. Price is Right's actually a little bit boring now. It doesn't have as big of an audience. It seems extremely staged. And while I know other game shows in the UK are also staged, they're more entertaining. I found Tipping Point to be very entertaining when I watched that a few times on YouTube, when I found it on YouTube a few times. I found, not necessarily the regular countdown, but at least Cats does countdown when they do their spoof version. It's actually somewhat fun to watch. So there are game shows in the UK that I actually enjoy, but in the US we don't get as many of them. I know The Wheel recently came across, and I actually have to double check when that started. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I have to check when that started in the US. And you just started, I think it started, I'm not sure if it was Thursday or Friday. I might have missed the first episode by now. I have to double check that. Now the good news is I'm taping this on Friday, so if it does air on Friday, I can still see it. I just can't talk about it right now because I'm taping this beforehand in that case. But if I did miss it, I'm going to have to see if I can find the episode on YouTube, because even though I don't have TV and I suggested to my mother, hey, you might want to watch this, it's a new game show, and we enjoy those, she might have forgotten. She probably has forgotten. So I'm going to have to call and make sure that she gets next week's, and we try to find episode number 1 at some point. I don't know how many episodes of it we're getting, but I have seen the UK version, and I've also seen a version done by a group of guys who basically do shows on the internet. They did their own version of The Wheel. They got to use the entire set and everything. They had one of the guys who was a very, very natural host for that game, and really should look into being a game show host or some kind of MC of some sort, because he did a really good job on that spoof version, I thought. And yeah, it actually is kind of a fun game. Even if there are parts of it that don't make sense, it is kind of a fun game. The only difference is we're going to have 6 people on the 6 celebrities on the US version because we have more commercials. That's the only downside. We have fewer celebrities. That has to be a shorter game to add in the commercials in that hour. But sponsorships for you. I don't know if the top prize is bigger. It might be $1 million prize, might be a $500,000 possible prize. I don't know. It'll be a higher number because, you know, conversion from UK to American is gross. My cost in Canadian dollars is double your British pounds. Curse you in your high British pound prices. Why? I should get a job in the UK. Let me see the world at the same time. I'm going to be honest with you, the UK is one of the 3 places I think I want to see before I die. The UK, Australia is on that list as well. I would love to see a place like Sydney. Not so much the deserts, but a place like Sydney would be nice to see. Train coming, let's look at this one. There, hopefully you saw that, I didn't. So that's 2 places right there, and I think I kind of want to see Germany too, because I have some ancestry in Germany. That's why I have no problem saying names like Flaghofen, which stands for airport, by the way. Gesundheit for bless you. And also acknowledge that if you want to sound like an authentic German, you just have to sound angry when you speak it. Doesn't mean you are angry, just you have to sound angry. Anyway, enough about that. We made up about a minute now. It's 8:43:10 our expected arrival time. We're now 20 seconds early. And a 105 coming up. I'm so curious about my pronunciation of Allerheiligenhof, if that's correct. I'm so curious about that. I should listen to a pronunciation video for that and see if I actually got it right. You may remember that one from the Mitten-Waldbahn route. That one gave me some trouble. But I think I finally got it. But don't expect me to get that one in North Wales. It's not happening. I can listen to a video, pronounce it, and then write out the syllables, and I'll still get it wrong. It doesn't mean I won't try. I just will get it wrong. So we're down to the 105 in time. I want to stay a few under, so I can stay around 102, 103. That's fine. We have a 100 coming up. This was expected. We will eventually get a 115 after that, but for right now we have to manage the new speed limits. We also passed Huntington a long time ago. I didn't actually catch it, so that's on me that I didn't catch that. We have a 100 coming up, so I'm just going to let the train coast at this point. That might have been the Yastley Load Crossing, because the Yastley Load Crossing is our final level crossing before we actually get to Peterborough. And actually, no, that's still coming up. That crossing is still coming up. So we probably went through the Holme and Holme Load crossings just a moment ago there. We're down to 100. And our speed limit will now be 100. Quiet. $115 is coming up, so I am going to go ahead and crank that, because why not? We're now going to arrive before 8:53 according to the ETA, which is good. I feel like I missed the actually load crossing. Either that or it's just about to come upon us. But I think I missed it. Okay, so Peterborough is the next station. We're not going to see a lot more in terms of... Oh, I did cross the 115. I thought I was speeding for a moment. Phew. We are going to see a few bridges going over us, but I don't have information on all of them, so don't ask me for what they are. So I got to a 112, and I noticed the 105 coming up, and I'm like, you know what? Not worth going to 115 anymore. So we're going to be letting it coast for a moment, going down to a 105 over time. I may have to put a small brake application in. We are going to have a major slowdown by the time we get to Peterborough, because we might have to cross a junction at 25. At the very least, station limit is 30. So we are definitely going to be slowing down in a moment. That 105 might not be relevant anymore by the time we need to slow down. I will put a small brake application on, just to aid this. You can see the 30 coming up now, and 40 is actually limit through our platform, so we're going to start slowing down heavily because we have our double yellow signal as well. That means, now that doesn't mean that we're getting slowed down. That means the signal at the end of Peterborough is a red signal, because you can see there's only one more signal before Peterborough. All we're going to worry about is getting down to 30. We're probably going to get an alert for the 30 as well if we, well, we should have, but I don't think we did. I've eased off the brakes because I was coming in quite slowly there. We are going to cross a couple viaducts in a moment. So we're going to be crossing the Peterborough Viaduct. We're also going to be crossing the Undle Road Viaduct. There, now we got our speed limit in one of those two, I can tell now. So I'm getting down to 30 to make sure I'm good to go here. Let's keep a small application on for right now. There's our yellow. We're being junction to the left, according to that sign. And now we're going to go ahead and coast at this stage, because I can coast down into the 30s and I'm not considered speeding. We lost a little time in that slowdown, so that's why I want to gain a little time as you go. You could lose some. We do have to stop within the next minute. At this point, I'm not going to really apply the brakes inside the platform. There's really no reason to. That bridge, by the way, that blue bridge, I believe, was the Crescent Bridge. I don't really talk about that a lot coming out of Peterborough, but worth mentioning it coming in. So we're applying a little bit of a brake application now. In fact, I'm coming in a little fast. Let's slow it down a little more. Why do I have an emergency brake setting? Seriously? Game, I know what I'm doing. How dare you? How dare you? I know what I'm doing. I know. Well, guys, I just got cheated out of a perfect score from that. You notice that? I just got cheated out of a perfect score by a random emergency brake setting. Well, I'm going to hack that one through because I'm not doing that again. Anyway, arrival at Peterborough. Let's look at the train. And that ends our expiration for now of the Class 801. I don't understand why I got triggered with that emergency brake. Why was I... It happened on suburban Glasgow as well. I guess they want us to come in really slowly for the signal, but the problem is if we come in really slowly for the red signal, then we're basically going to be told that we're late. So it's either you take the emergency brake penalty or you're late, because you notice the time I stopped was still literally right on time after having to speed up again. So... yeah, I'm not gonna let that one stand. I'm just gonna hack that one through because I should have had a perfect score. I'm hacking that one through. I don't care. Well done, driver. You have managed to complete all of your tasks successfully this morning. You can now take a well-earned rest. So we're done with the 801 right now. Make sure you do like the video. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you wave to the guy honking at you. We're gonna go to the menu. So for anyone who is questioning me slowing down at London King's Cross as I was coming in. You can now see there was a good reason for me to slow down at London King's Cross. I suspect there was an emergency brake panel, but I never saw it activate, probably because I was going in at the right speed. But apparently if you're going 15 or 20 before a red signal, you're coming in too quickly. Even if you do have the space to slow down, you're considered coming in too quickly. Which really, in my opinion, we were stopping anyway. It was our stop. Why were we going to go? Why would we be coming too fast for a signal if that's our stop? It doesn't make sense why we'd be triggered like that. Why we have to come in so slowly. So I'm going to say that was a fraudulent emergency brake application. And like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and hack my score in because I don't care. Even though the 770 is nice as well, 870 just feels better. I don't know why. Of course, if I had a 970, that would be kind of gross. We won't talk about that. In any case, yeah, that's the end of the DLC. Actually, 780 is what I meant to say. 780 is nice. 770, okay. 7 points more, and I'd actually be really lucky. That would actually be a nice score to have as well. Anyway, we're done with the 801 for right now. We are going to come back. We are going to do the Liverpool to Newcastle service over 3 routes, including the Huddersfield routes. Those will be in the Armstrong Powerhouse model. So we are going to get to see that one in operation on those 3 scenarios. That is a workshop series. I am going to acquire, if I haven't already, that series and go ahead and have those ready for you in the future as well. But for right now, I just want to say make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. I know I said that already. I can't say it enough. Hit the bell to know when I post more videos. Keep in mind our Christmas videos are going to be coming up starting next video. That is, I've already recorded 3 of them. I have the 4th one I still have to record. But I've recorded 3 of them, and the it's just a nice little drive on the Western Lines of Scotland. We'll talk more about why I'm doing scenarios on Western Lines of Scotland in the future. Actually, I don't know if I talked about it on the first video or not. I don't remember at this point. But I'll be very brief on that right now. We've already done the Port Road. We still have to do the main Western Lines of Scotland scenarios. But you know what? This is a chance to see a holiday scenario. I'm going to break it for the holiday scenarios. I'll break my policy of showing the route first. Don't mind it for this purpose. And as for the 801, obviously the 801 we'll see some more of. That was I already showed you the London to Peterborough route, so we're gonna see the 321 here at some point as well, because I have to do the 321 services. But I think we also have a 319 on London to Bedford, and that also shows up on London to Brighton. So we're gonna see some more of these trains on these southern routes as well. Nothing unusual there. We have lots of stuff to do on these southern routes, but also lots of stuff to do on the northern routes as well. So we're going to be busy in the UK. I still have to go back to Miami. I still have to go back to Mitten Waldbon for the freight train services there and one passenger service in that train. So we still have all that to do as well in the new year. That will all be coming in the new year at some point. I also have to do Liverpool-Manchester before we go to the workshop scenarios. So I'm going to have to run those possibly in January. I don't know. I want to get those scenarios going in January if I can, so I might do that in January. But I kind of want to finish those other 2 routes too. So we're going to make our trips to Germany and the US again at some point in the very near future as well. Lots of things I have to figure out here. And also, I do need to... when I go back to Huddersfield, I understand there was an update. They added level crossing that I commented was missing. I did report this level crossing as missing, and after some back and forth, they did add the level crossing, I found out. So we are going to show you that level crossing when we go back to Huddersfield as well. Keep that in mind as well if you don't have the route and you don't see it yourself. I don't think they fixed the achievements yet, though, so I don't think we can do that yet. Before I forget, we have a couple of achievements I need to point out here as well. We have the Class 801 EMU Veteran. That's the one on the right with the... Or sorry, the one on the left. That is the one that gives us the reward for 2,100 points for the 3 scenarios. Whereas the one on the right is Rush Hour, the handshake. That is Rush Hour, and that gives us the award for 850 points on this scenario, which is a lie. We got more than that. So we didn't get the right achievement because we should have gotten exactly 850 points to get that achievement. Okay, it's at least. Anyway, that's all for that. Make sure you have a wonderful day, evening, or night if you are on my playlist. There will be another video behind this. Could be a 321. Could be something else. I don't know yet. Could be a 180. Could be a 91. Who knows? Other than that, have a wonderful day, evening, or night. And I'm Cyclone. See you next time for the holiday scenarios on Western Lines of Scotland. Bye-bye.